On today's video, immigration rule updates and Rise of Kingdoms I guess we're changing the migration system again, and guess what? It makes no sense. In this video, we're gonna go over the changes and what I thought they meant to do, but they don't really do much, and I truly don't get what on earth is going on, so maybe you guys can help me out in the comments. But we're gonna go over this and my opinions and thoughts on it, so sit back. Don't forget, of course, to slap a like on the video, and let's go. Hey there, YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming. Oh my goodness, we just finished our State of this Union, State of Rise of Kingdoms video, carded up on the top right yesterday, and it was alright. I think that Rise of Kingdoms is now in a phase where they're trying to figure out how to balance the game for newer players and older players alike to a certain extent, and this is an attempt on balancing the game for a fairer game environment. Let's read through these changes because honestly, I think these guys missed entirely and altogether the problem with the immigration system, and you're about to see why. So they decided that a kingdom status will be determined on the current season. Each season is split into off-season and battle period. A season begins in the off-season and ends at the end of battle period. Battle periods are when kingdoms can enter Lost Kingdom, and off-season is the time in between them. The way they split it up is that preparation season is from the beginning of a kingdom all the way until the Lost Temple occupation. From there, you enter off-season in Season 1, and Season 1 starts from occupation of Lost Temple all the way till the end of the first KVK. Season 2 then is from the end of KVK all the way till the end of KVK 2, and Season 3 is from the end of KVK 2 all the way to KVK Season 3, the end of it. And then finally, Season of Conquest is anything after KVK Season 3. What they're doing here is, of course, they're maintaining it so that you cannot migrate in between kingdoms that are in their KVK right now. And the immigration rule optimizations go as followed. If your kingdom is in preparation season or in Season 1, you can only migrate to a kingdom that has already finished Season 1. Which means you cannot immigrate to a kingdom, that has already finished Season 1. You can only immigrate to a kingdom that is still before Season 1 for you to have to go through Season 1. You cannot immigrate to a kingdom that has already finished Season 1. If your kingdom is in KVK in Season 2, which means you finished your KVK 1, you can only immigrate to other kingdoms in Season 2's off-season period, which means so long as you're either inside KVK 2 or preparing for KVK 2, you can migrate to another kingdom that is of the same level. If your current kingdom is in Season 3, then you can only immigrate to kingdoms in their off-season periods 2 or 3, which means you can go back to redo KVK 2, or you can go anywhere to do KVK 3 with another kingdom, but you cannot go forward. If you're currently in the Season of Conquest, you can immigrate to any kingdom in their off-season of period 2, 3, or Season of Conquest. But what this means is if you pick to go into a Season 2, you can only then stay within Seasons 2 until you finish the KVK. And once you hit Season 3, you can only stay between 2 and 3 until you finish Light versus Darkness, and only then you can start moving around Seasons of Conquest again. And of course, rules regarding Imperium and Rising Kingdoms will not be affected. Now, what this does is essentially, it tells the older players, you want to go play KVK Season 2 again? Sure, but then you're going to have to do Light versus Darkness again as well, in order for you to be able to go out to Heroic Anthem, to Strife of 8, to Trojan Horse, or whatever it'll be in the future. But this is not the problem with the immigration system. The problem is not that people are going to KVK 2 and then coming back to do Heroic Anthem. The problem is that people are going into KVK 2 because they don't want to do Heroic Anthem, and they're wrecking people who haven't even had the chance to play Rise of Kingdoms yet. You're getting 700 T5 players into a kingdom that is fighting 7 other kingdoms that are new kingdoms that don't even have 700 T5s in them combined. The whole 10 kingdoms around them don't have 700 T5s combined. And that is the issue. Now, granted, again, shout out to the folks in 916. I think 916 is a crazy awesome project. I think that Dragothian hit the ball out of the park big time, and the crew that's working hard to make that kingdom work is unbelievable, and I love seeing the content coming out of there. But the reality is, they're about to wreck noobs. That's what they're doing, and all due respect to the newer players, that's what these guys are doing. They're pros wrecking noobs. And By the time these pros are going to get to the point where they're fighting pros, they're going to have enough time to stack up on commanders and stack up on sculptures and prepare themselves to fight the pros that have not done that. But what you're saying here is essentially you're forcing older players that want to play Season 2 again to have to play Season 3 as well in order to be able to migrate forward later on. Okay. That doesn't make any change to anyone. People who just want to stay do KVK Season 2 forever and ever can. People who want to stay and do KVK Season 3 forever and ever can. Guess what? They'll continue to wreck the new generation of players because they have stacked commanders and stacked sculptures. And guess what? At some point, they'll have all their commanders' expertise because you can do Season 2 again and again and again and again. And then they'll do Season 3 with all the commanders they have expertise out the wazoo with 3,000 sculptures in the bank. And then go to Season of Conquest and blow people out of the water. Am I wrong? Am I getting this wrong? Am I this stupid that I don't get it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what do you think, if not if I'm stupid or not, that I already know, but what do you think this is? How do you interpret this? And of course, drop me a petty like for being stupid, I guess, but what? How does this help anyone? There's only one thing that is interesting about this mail. The above changes are planned to take effect at the end of March. That's in 2 months. Okay, you have plenty of time to migrate and decide where you want to get stuck. And then going forward, we will be adjusting the matchmaking rules of Ark of Osiris, Osiris League, and Lost Kingdom events to ensure the opponents are always of the same season. Essentially, you'll have 3 divisions in Osiris League: Season 2, Season 3, and Season of Conquest. That's pretty much what they said. They said that as long as you're doing Ark of Osiris, do not worry, you will be fighting people kind of your stature, except for the fact that you're going to pick a time slot in which there's nobody doing in that time slot, and then you'll get wrecked. That happened already multiple times, so I'm at a loss of words because it really scares me to think how disconnected sometimes these guys are from their own game. The issue in your game is not that older players are going into Season 2 and then hopping back to Season of Conquest. Although some people did do that to try out Strife of 8. They skipped Heroic Anthem but went into an older kingdom right after Season 2 to go do Strife of 8. I know people who did that. But the vast majority are going from here back here. And when you tell them you're now stuck to do Season 2 or 3, they're like, okay, we didn't want to do Strife of 8 anyway. We didn't want to do Heroic Anthem anyway. What did you do here? I don't know how this makes the game any fairer. Anyone tell me how this makes the game any fairer? Because I truly don't get it. This is a complete disconnect of understanding the issues within migration. This should have been backwards. This should have been, if you're a younger player that wants to go straight to Season 3, go wild. If you're a younger player that wants to go straight into Season of Conquest, go wild. But if you're an older player looking to wreck noobs, you shouldn't be allowed to do it. And I understand building, again, and I'll use 916 as an example because I truly love that project, but it has negative implications on the community as a whole, which is they built a super kingdom the same way 307, way ahead of their time, a long time ago, built a super kingdom in the 300s and wrecked noobs. You can ask 307, they wrecked noobs for a very long time until they finally started getting competition against them. But what this is essentially telling the older players, listen, if you guys want to go wreck noobs, just so you know, you're going to be able to wreck them you're going to have to wreck them for 2 seasons. And I mean, what are the older players going to say? Sure. I'll do Season 2 without Theodora, without Attila Takeda, without any of that. That's fine. I'll bring my expertise Khan, expertise Edward, expertise Tamaris, expertise Saladin, expertise Alexander, all of them expertise that I already have, and just wreck anyone who doesn't have all of those. And then once Season 3 begins, in the middle of Season 3, we hit day 310, and guess what? Theodora is available, Zenobia is available, Attila Takeda is available, Nebuchadnezzar is available. All of these new commanders are available, Harold, William, and so sure, we'll just keep wrecking noobs who haven't even gotten to that point yet, who get their first Attila a few days before their Kingsland opens. That is the issue. The issue is that older players that are not that are looking to build up their account further and not have to keep up with the top tier because they don't want to, because the formats of KVK are terrible, are going backwards with stacked accounts and wrecking noobs. Now, I'm not saying that those who are doing it are bad people or they're not competitive or anything like that. Majority of people who are going to go wreck noobs do it because they rather not do the formats of Season of Conquest. And as a result, they end up having to wreck noobs in KVK Season 2. What this also means is that wrecking noobs is not going to be a thing anymore, because majority of folks are going to want to go back, and now younger kingdoms are essentially going to get overpopulated with older players. So now younger kingdoms will have older players in them at a bigger rate, and they'll get stuck there. And those guys are not going to give up on Mightiest Governor to a new player. Why would you give up a Mightiest Governor of a Takeda to a brand new player when you have someone fully equipped with legendaries that just needs like 200 sculptures? They'll just win Attila, no care in the world. Do you really think they'll be responsible like 916 is? The beautiful thing about 916 is that they are responsible. One of their Mightiest Governors is strictly for the natives, not for migrators. I love that. They keep trying to make sure that their native population is taken care of. But not everybody's that considerate. Folks migrate to younger kingdoms and just win Mightiest Governor after Mightiest Governor because they stacked years worth of speed ups by playing the game for much longer. I don't know how much this makes the game fair. I think it makes the game much worse. I think Lilith needs to backtrack off of this really, really, really quickly, because it's literally backwards from what it should be, and it's scary because it's a complete disconnect of understanding what's the issues with their game. And that's kind of sad. What do you all think? Leave me a comment down below and let me know. I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. I appreciate you all for supporting the channel lately, dropping the like, subscribing to the channel, share the video, post it in your Discords, the State of Rise of Kingdoms video. Go post it. People need to see it. I want to hear your opinions. I want to see your likes or your dislikes. Everything and all your feedback is read. Voice your thoughts. I want to see what you think, because you guys are teaching me things as well. You guys are changing my mind and my way of thought. So in this, you might change my way of thought again in the comments down below. So don't shy away from voicing your opinion. And I'll see you all sooner rather than later. Take care and have a good one. Peace.